Hi, good morning, everybody. Um, there's been something that I've really been thinking and something that I really feel like I need to share. And it's the idea that we are each placed here to do something bigger than what we've been doing or what we think we can do. So, there has been something on my heart that I want to do. I want to teach about feminine energy. I want to teach women how to reconnect with themselves. I want to teach women how to remember that divine femininity within them. We were born, we were created with this incredible feminine energy. And then through life experiences, through the family that we've been born into, through the people that we marry or the people that we associate with, or just the teachings of the world around us, we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten that divinity. We've forgotten how powerful that feminine energy is and how necessary it is for us to show up the way that we want to show up. And while this is a very deep want for me. This is like, I feel it in my core that this is something that I need to teach. That because of the experiences that I have had, I can and I should be sharing those experiences. But there is this block that I have that maybe what I have to say isn't going to be said as eloquently as how somebody else can say it, or maybe I'm not as educated as someone else, or maybe other people aren't going to resonate with what I say. I don't know. There's just like so many limiting beliefs that come to me every time I feel this urge or the desire to follow my dream, to follow my passion. And I want to tell you guys, and I want to tell myself that each of us were placed here on this earth at a certain time in a certain place, given the experiences that we are given for a reason. Like nothing is random. I don't believe that anything is random. I believe everything has a purpose. And then we get to take those experiences that we have and we get to do something with them. Either we can take those experiences and we can learn and we can grow and we can try to become better, or we can take those experiences and we can internalize them and make them mean something about us that it was never supposed to mean about us. So I going back to this fear that maybe what I have to say isn't of value. It it is, and I've been told that, and I've really felt that prompting that what I have to say is of value, even though sometimes I feel like maybe it's not. And I want to extend that invitation to you as well. Like if there is something that's on your heart, if there's something that you feel like you need to share, um there's an experience that you've had that you feel like, what was the purpose of this experience? Why was this so painful? Why was this so hard for me? Oftentimes it is our deepest pain that brings about the greatest amount of growth and the biggest like aha moments for us to help us really turn our life around. And those experiences, I don't believe, are given just for us to have. They're given for us to have so that we can then help someone else, like a lighthouse on the rock, right? Like someone at some point had to have crashed into those rocks that were along the beach and realized, oh, this is really, really dangerous. And if anybody else, like if there's not a light there, other people are going to crash into it and other people are going to get hurt. Therefore, I should, or we should build a lighthouse, and we should make sure that people can see or know that this is a dangerous place. I think that our lives are exactly the same way. We were given these opportunities to crash into the rocks so that we can see that that is a dangerous area, so that we can then build lighthouses, so that we can then guide other people where they need to go. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter what experiences you've had. It doesn't matter whether or not you feel like you are the best or the smartest or the most capable. There are going to be people that resonate with what you have to say because it's you that's saying it, because of the experiences that you have, mingled with the life that you have lived, mingled with the belief system that you have, mingled with the way that you show up in the world, like the energy that you put out. There are so many content creators that I don't resonate with, even though maybe it's like what they're saying, I believe, or what they're saying is true. I don't personally resonate with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then there are other content creators that I like, they light me up. Like I wake up every morning hoping that maybe they've posted a new video, or hoping that maybe that there's a new podcast out, because what they're saying, how they're saying it, and the experiences that they're coming through it with, that is what lights me up. And that's what helps grow me and help me be like, okay, I'm taking what they're going through, I'm taking what they have gone through, and I'm going to implement it into my life. Like we are all given so many opportunities to show up for other people. And I think that that's what we're supposed to do. We live in so much fear that we're going to be rejected. That it's a human nature, you guys. Like we can't, sometimes we want to accuse ourselves, or we want to act like maybe there's something broken within us because we're so worried about what other people think. But you guys, that's human nature. We we were designed back in forever ago. We were designed to live in groups of families or communities to keep us safe. And we had to fit in. If we didn't fit in, then we would be ostracized. But in today's world, that's not necessarily the case. Yes, you're definitely going to be maybe not included in certain groups if you don't align with how those groups think. But the difference nowadays is that there's so many groups. Like we don't have to just fit into one little area. We can be a square peg going into a square hole. Like we don't have to shave ourselves down to fit into a round hole, if that makes sense. There are so many places for us. There's so many different niches and different areas that people are looking for guidance. And so we get to show up authentically as authentically as possible, because that is what is going to help us to connect to the people that we need to connect to. And we don't need to be afraid of triggering other people, or of other people not liking what we're saying or not resonating with us, because honestly, we want that. We want to only connect with those people that resonate with us. Could you imagine if you were a content creator and every single person in the world followed you and wanted advice from you and needed and was feeding off of your energy? Like, could you imagine how draining that would be? One person could not handle that much connection. Like, it would be so much for them. Their energy would just bleed out everywhere. It would not be helpful or healthful either. So we need so many different perspectives. We need so many people to help carry the weight. And the beautiful thing is that when there are so many people that are willing to put themselves out there, and they're willing to share what they need to share, and to allow themselves to connect with the people that they need to connect to, it heals the people that they're connecting with, and it heals us, and it heals our community. It's so healing to show up authentically. It is exhausting to try to be someone else. Have you ever experienced that? Has any of you ever experienced trying to show up the way that somebody else wants you to show up? There is literally no way that you can please someone else all the time. Like, you just can't. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much training you've given yourself, or how many limits you put on yourself, you will never, ever be able to please someone else all the time. It's impossible, and it's exhausting, and it will drain your life force energy, and it will drain your ability to connect with other people, your ability to show up, your ability to help and heal other people. So we need to be connecting with ourselves. We need to be finding out what is it that lights you up? What is it that you feel is your purpose? How do you want to show up today? And really connect with that. As a mom, or as a friend, or as a sister, as a daughter, all of those things, what type of person do you want to be? Like, let's get rid of who your parents think you should be. Let's get rid of who your children want you to be. Let's get rid of who your spouse wants you to be. Let's get rid of who your partner wants you to be. Like, let's get rid of who society wants you to be and connect with yourself. Who do I want to be? Like, what is the best version of me? And if you can't answer that right now, that's okay. But I think that's a really good indication that you need to do some self-connecting, that you need to get really clear on who am I and how do I want to show up in the world and what can I do to start doing that? Okay? How can I start letting go of worrying about what other people think? How can I start showing up authentically as myself? How can I start letting my voice be heard, even though in the past that's been really scary? Here is something that I want to tell you. When you connect with yourself and when you get really clear on what it is and how it is that you want to show up in the world, you will find that it will be easier to start showing up more authentically. We show up inauthentic when we are trying to please someone else, when we are trying to live our life according to someone else's pattern, according to someone else's expectations. That is when we start to really feel that need to hide ourselves because there's something that we're like ashamed of. Babies were not come to this earth with shame. They need something, they cry. They're happy, they laugh. Like they're so authentic. They are so connected to themselves and their own needs and their own desires that they don't worry about whether or not their caregiver thinks that they should be happy or thinks that they should be sad or thinks that they should be hungry. Now, of course, this is something that is conditioned out of us. We start to pick up on the nonverbal cues. We start to recognize, oh, when I say this, I'm not as well received. When I act this way, I'm not as well received. I need to hide who I am. Or maybe we've been told or have had the feeling like we're too much. Maybe we feel like I don't want to show up totally because then people think I'm too much. I'm too loud, I'm too cute, I'm too excited, I'm too whatever it is. And so we start to hide ourselves. The problem with that is that one, we are not being true to ourselves, and so there's a part of us that just dies or starts to just be really dormant when it needs to shine out. And also we start to give other people so much power over how we want to show up. It's exhausting, you guys. It is, as a person who has lived that way for many, 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 many years, trying so hard to be a square peg fitting into a round circle. Like I was shaving off my edges, my corners. I was shaving off so many parts of me, trying desperately to fit in, trying desperately to be who these people were wanting me to be, how I thought that I should show up for them. You guys, the crazy thing is I didn't show up right either way. Like even when I was trying so hard to show up the way that they wanted me to show up, I wasn't showing up good enough for them. And so it was just that cycle of trying and failing, trying and failing, trying and failing. And while, yeah, you can try and fail and try again, when you're trying to be someone that you're not and you continue to fail, there's just that part of you that just starts to die and you lose a part of yourself. It's different if you start showing up authentically and you fell and you're like, okay, that's all right because I was true to myself. I'm going to try again. That is different than when you are trying to be someone who you're really not and failing. That is a damaging, detrimental cycle. But when you start showing up authentically as yourself, and say you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna show up, I'm going to say what I need and start asking for what I need, and say you do that and there's a hiccup or you fail. That's okay. That's learning because you want to pick yourself up again and say, okay, how can I do this better? How can I be more connected to myself? How can I be more authentic? How can I be more me? And that is growth. That is inner work. That is personal development. That is healthy. All right. You want to do that. You want to allow yourself to make those mistakes as you are becoming more of yourself. What you don't want to do is try desperately to be someone you're not, because you will fail every single time. Every single time, you guys. You cannot please someone else by living a life that they think that you should live. All right. Now, you can definitely take their suggestions. You can definitely take advice, and you can take some of that and be like, okay, this resonates with me. I want to show up more authentically as myself. Excuse me. I want to show up more authentically as myself using these tips and tools that maybe they have shared with me. But be very careful that you are not dimming down your own light so that they can feel good around you. Does that make sense? A lot of times, the reason people want to dim your light, or the reason that they want to control you, is because they don't feel good about themselves. And when they don't feel good about themselves, they don't want you to feel good about yourself. And so they'll try to control you and make you fit into their mold so that they can feel good. But again, you guys, that's super damaging, and it's super unproductive. You will never, ever please someone who is already unhappy with themselves. You just never will. You can be the most perfect person, and you will still trigger, and you will still do it wrong. I mean, if you want to look into the scriptures, look at Christ. Look at him. He lived the perfect life, and yet there were so many people who were triggered by him. So many people who thought he was doing it wrong. So many people who wanted to make him do it differently because it didn't fit their mold of how they wanted him to show up. Or he showed them things in themselves that they didn't like, and so they tried to change who he was so that they could feel better about themselves. You guys, it will never, ever work. And so we need to know that we were sent to this earth to do something. The experiences that we have been given is to grow us so that we can then be the lighthouse to other people. Like, stop dimming your light. Your light is literally going to save someone else. It literally is. There are people, there are women that I follow that have helped me through some of the darkest, most desperate times in my life. And they were literally my lighthouse. And I can't imagine what would have happened if they would have been too afraid of posting, or too afraid of saying what was on their heart, or too afraid of teaching the things that they had learned. I would be so lost. I would be so behind where I am now, because they have given me the light, they've given me the blueprint of how to show up. So I don't want to do that. I want to be the light for someone else, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. You are gifted with this divine energy, this light, the guidance. It's like a natural compass that we've been given to guide us and to lead us where we need to go. Yet we've dimmed it, and we've hidden it, and we've chucked it out the window because for someone else, because it was making someone else uncomfortable. No, it is time to remember who we are. It is time to step up, and it is time to reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with God, and start being that light for other people. Say what you need to say, and don't worry about how other people are going to take it. You want other people to be triggered, because that means that you're saying something important. If you're just saying something that everybody agrees with, you're not saying anything important. But if you're saying something that's going to trigger some people, and it's going to make some people angry, it's going to light someone else up, and it's going to give them an anchor. It's going to give them a light to follow, and it's going to give them a way to move forward with their life. Stop being afraid. Start stepping into your divine femininity. Start stepping into your divine role as a lighthouse for other women, as a lighthouse for other people. We've been gifted that opportunity. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day.